Protective orders, court hearings, and neglect and abuse accusations make up the nearly 2-year battle between a White County no-kill animal shelters board and a former board member. Angela Hughes says she was kicked off the board unfairly. The board says Hughes was impossible to work with. While the two parties head to court for a second time, everybody claims the animal's best interest is at heart.
And to be locked out and not be able to see those animals again broke my heart.
Angela Hughes had been volunteering at Happy Tails Animal Care Center in Buffalo since 2010 and eventually became treasurer of the board of directors. She says things suddenly went south in September of 2011 when a donation box was broken into at the shelter. But there were no signs of a break-in to the building. She says she called the police, and that's when other board members suddenly resigned.
They did not want to be questioned by the police. So they left me running the place all by myself.
Hughes says she recruited 2 of her friends to help her out at the shelter. She says they quickly took over and tried to run the place. She says they even appointed new people to the board. The following spring, the board had its annual meeting to vote for board members and officers.
Nobody was informed of this. I'm a board member. I should have been informed. They start handing out these ballots that they had come up with all their names on them. Mine wasn't on it. We had to write it in.
At that meeting, Hughes was kicked off the board. Current board president Colleen Bowers says the next morning, the board of directors had to file a protective order against Hughes. And Hughes says she found out about the order because she went to file an order against some of the board members.
She became very angry with us. She locked us out of the organization, changed the lock, changed the security codes to our security system, brought individuals up to the shelter to prevent us from coming in.
Hughes decided to fight the board's vote and take it to court, claiming the board did not follow the shelter's bylaws. Last month, a judge ruled in Hughes's favor and reinstated her to the board. Later in July, the board held a special meeting and invited Hughes. She did not show up, but the board voted with revised bylaws to remove her from the board again.
Why we're going back to court now and that they're saying we're in contempt of court is because we have used our current bylaws. Her not being there was not aware that we have new bylaws.
The second hearing is set for September. Bowers says the board will be fighting to get back certain items from the shelter Hughes has in her possession, including money, which Hughes says her attorney is holding in a trust, and other miscellaneous items. Hughes still claims that the conditions at the shelter are filthy and board members are using the shelter's money for personal reasons, even though Bowers admitted to accidentally writing a $10 check from the shelter's checkbook to pay for her son's lunches. In the wake of all the controversy, Bowers says the board had to let go of 4 volunteers. She says, according to witnesses, Hughes was on the property with these volunteers before she was reinstated. The volunteers say they were not actively working with Hughes.
I'm only on the animal side, nobody's side.
I can talk to them dogs, I can love on them, and I don't know, it's just hard.
One thing the volunteers, Bowers, and Hughes can agree on: the animals are top priority.
It's killing us that the animals sat there in the first place, and that's our motivation. That's what we're there for.
I would like to come back and run it and put the people in there that from the community that care and that are going to give the animals what they deserve.
Indiana State Police Detective Jerry Holman says he just started a criminal investigation. He says he is investigating Angela Hughes. He is also looking into Happy Tails for allegations of animal abuse and misappropriation of funds. News 18 will continue to follow this story.